Have you ever wondered what life might be like for a young black conservative who started off supporting Obama, moved over to Bernie Sanders, and ended with Donald Trump, especially if you did something to draw attention to yourself? My next guest is someone who has been on the front lines. He's a young man with a story, and so you won't want to miss this episode. Welcome to this episode of Conversations. This is the show where we talk about anything and everything and hopefully what's on your mind. My next guest is a young man named Bryson Gray. You may have seen him before as a Trump supporter with a huge mega hat. And so Donald Trump lost. And so let's hear what life is like for young conservatives. Bryson, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
And you don't have the big hat on, you have a much smaller hat.
Well, I'm known for the bucket hat now. I was known for the big hat at first, but now everybody knows me for the bucket hat. So see, if you see a black dude with a round Trump hat on, it's probably me.
Okay, all right. And you have an interesting backstory. Your grandmother was a Black Panther?
Mm-hmm, like a real one, not like a real one, yeah.
And so did you grow up around her?
Yeah. She used to be at my parents' house when I grew up every single morning, teaching us about. She's super religious, and my uncle, by marriage, was the head of that Black Panther section in High Point, North Carolina, and he actually voted for George Bush. So, you know, I mean, the history is there. Black people are usually conservative by nature. Well,
what did your grandmother tell you about how did being a Black Panther square with being a Christian?
It's just the conservative values. They just pretty much focus those conservative values in on being black, which I think is always a problem when you hyper focus on skin color. But so she grew up a Black Panther, and she was a Black Panther before she became super religious.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So then
and you call super religious. What's super religious?
So I'm super religious in the aspect where I'm a Bible thumper, which is why a lot of people hate me. But she's super religious in the aspect of every time she talks to you, if she first meets you, like if I take you to meet Mother D, who's my grandmother, she's gonna say, "Hey, honey, do you have God in your life?" That's gonna be the first question.
Well, that is really, I admire people like that. I say about myself, I don't do cold calls. Like I'm more likely to engage in a conversation and maybe share my testimony, but I don't normally walk up to people and say, "Do you know Jesus?"
Oh yeah, that's her. Period. That's the first thing come out her mouth. So so that's what I've been about super religious with her. But it used to annoy me back in the day growing up, but now I feel like I'm super religious, and I'm like, dang, maybe I'm annoying.
And when did you become religiously devout? So we're not going to embrace the stereotypes that they might call. You call yourself a Bible thumper, but if you call yourself, the epithet, it loses its sting because a lot of times the other side wants to call you names, and so that silences you. So if you're calling yourself a Bible thumper and super religious, what else is there for them to call you?
Exactly. I'm gonna sell out of all these things they want me to be. But
and you're Uncle Tom because you were in the Uncle Tom film with me. So we're both Uncle Tom.
Yes, we are. And well, a lot of these people obviously don't know the story of Uncle Tom. But
tell them the story of Uncle Tom.
Well, Uncle Tom was actually the person who risked his life for the slaves. Long story short. And so if you think that's a bad thing, then okay, I mean, I guess you have your opinion. But on the aspect of being a very religious person, I grew up sort of religious, but I was always like lukewarm. You know, when you grow up in a Christian household, it's just, you have to say you're a Christian.
You have to go to church because you go to church on Sunday.
So you just go through the motion. You're not really feeling it. You're not really pinning anything in your heart really in it. So I didn't do that until I went to my family who owned land. My ancestors who were slaves had land. They had an apple tree. This is gonna sound crazy, but bear with me. They had an apple tree, and I asked them, how do they grow the apples? Because I thought they had something to do with it. And they said, what do you mean it just grows itself? Like the tree produces apples. I said, that is crazy. Like we're used to it because we're humans, but when you really look at that, that is insanity. That you can just get food from a tree with no effort from a human.
Well, stop. So you were a city boy and you went to the farm and you figured out not only where apples came from, but where you got your steaks and hamburgers.
No, I knew that was from cows.
Okay,
But
right.
a tree producing apples, like that's like it's of course we're used to it, so it doesn't sound interesting.
Yeah, you see them in the store, but then you see this tree with all these apples, were they red or green or yellow?
Yes, and it doesn't require humans. So you can eat from that, and it doesn't require you.
Well,
So-
it requires the humans to put the pesticides on them.
yeah, but you don't even have to do that.
I know.
Yeah. So it's like when you just think about it in simple terms like that, there has to be a designer. Every design
Right.
has to have a designer. So now the argument is who is the designer, right? So me, when I started reading the Bible, it just was super clear. Like sometimes cause I read the Bible like literally hours every day. And when I read it now, I literally could turn on the TV on the news station and it's literally just like it just looked like what I just read. And I say, wow, we really are living in Revelation.
Oh, so you like the book of Revelation?
Yeah, I like Revelation because I can read it and look at the news and be like,
Hey, well, I had my Christian conversion experience late in life. Before that, I was kind of spiritual. Then I was one God, many paths, New Age, Eastern religion, reincarnation, the whole 9 yards before I became a believer, a strong believer. But I actually can't remember what you just said that was relevant for.
for Revelation, the book of Revelation.
Okay. When I first had my, as I grew in my faith, that was my favorite book, and it's still my favorite book. And some people are afraid of Revelation. They just don't want to deal with it.
Because it's reality. Nobody want to deal with the scary parts of the Bible because then you have to look in the mirror. And when you have to look in the mirror, then you have to say, wait, I need to change something. People don't like change. People like habits. People like getting into habits and just continuing that way. And then they say, well, God loves us anyway. And then they just keep doing it and think that's going to lead them to heaven. But when you read Revelation, you say, there's a list of people who's going in the lake of fire. Yeah, let me make sure I'm not on that list. So then you have to make a change in your life, especially in Revelation, because like I said, when you look at today's world, it's very similar to Revelation.
Well, a lot of churches, teach that because God is love, Jesus loves everyone, there's no burning hell, and Jesus was this namby-pamby God. They don't talk about the parts where, he turned over tables and he called people names and that part of God.
They don't because they don't. I find that people like you said, people like the happy-go-lucky part of Jesus. Hey, I'm Jesus, I love you. But Jesus told you that if you don't do the will of the Father, you will get the wrath of God. So God is love, but you have to also remember He is also wrath if you don't do the will. And if people actually read the Bible, period, you will see that wrath was shown many times throughout the Bible. So if you don't want that done to you,
Well, I really admire a young person like you being bold enough to talk about your faith. And when we return, we're going to talk more about how that plays out. I'll be back after this word from my sponsor.
Conversations with Dr. Carol Swain is made possible by Cooper Steel, a family-owned business that provides the steel fabrications for some of the greatest buildings across the United States. 60 years ago, Kenneth and Faye Cooper founded their company in Shelbyville, Tennessee.
Cooper Steel believes in sponsoring Carol Swain because we believe as she does, you build strong, you stand strong.
What started as a vision and now a nationally recognized and operated company that remains true to its founders' Judeo-Christian values and principles. Cooper Steel is committed to excellence, responsibility, and community. Cooper Steel's motto is, build strong, stand strong. They treat their employees and customers like family. Thank you to Cooper Steel for standing strong with Conversations with Dr. Carol Swain. Learn more about our generous sponsor at coopersteel.com.
I'm back with my guest, Bryson Gray. And Bryson, you supported Donald Trump after having an evolution, and I supported Donald Trump. Well, a lot of people said that Donald Trump was not a Christian And how could we support someone that's been married, several times, and he's been an imperfect person? What's your response?
Well, first, the Bible tells you can't judge anyone off the past. You have to judge them off what they're doing now. And he's married now, and he has continued to be married. So I don't think his past marriage is anything of relevance. But also, you have to look at what Trump did for Christians. He brought back the prayer to schools. He stopped that bathroom nonsense. So if you want to talk about if Trump is the best Christian and stuff, that's a conversation you can have. But he has done things to help the religion of Christianity. That's undeniable.
Well, what I would say is, like, the whole Christian gospel is that Jesus Christ died for our past, present, and future sins, and there's no one perfect. And if you look at all the biblical characters that God used, they were terribly flawed. There was no one, that I can identify that he used that was perfect. Maybe Enoch, the one that he took, disappeared. Only thing we know about Enoch was Enoch walked with God, and then he was no more. But everyone else that was used were pretty messed up.
Noah was called perfect at one time, and Lot or Job was called righteous also.
Noah got drunk and exposed.
After because he ended up slipping off. But but yeah.
Who was the other one you said?
I think it was Job or Lot. One of them was called righteous.
Job did a lot of complaining before he saw the light.
That's true.
So, no one's perfect. And Christianity is not a religion for perfect people. And so somehow people that want to denigrate Christianity, they will point to various people's lifestyles and say that's not a Christian. But the church itself, it's been compared to a hospital.
And here's the thing. So the Christian hip-hop community hates me. And
why would they hate a nice guy like you?
Oh, because I actually talk about the scripture in my songs, like I'm supposed to. And
give us a little rap.
You sure?
Yeah, just briefly.
All them false teachers, you're going to pay for it. And it's coming back soon, so just wait for it. Better hope he have mercy, better pray for it. John 3:36, what you say, Lord? Whoever don't obey the Son, get the wrath of God. Don't ask me questions, better start asking God. Because you ain't mad at me, you really mad at God. And I used to rap for the devil, now I rap for God. You scared of persecution? Yeah, I understand. What happens when you deny God in front of man? Y'all running around questions about the LGBT, but God said a man shouldn't be with another man. I'm going to just stop right there.
You're going to get us in trouble.
I know. That's why I said.
Okay, so where do you do these raps? Do you do them in churches or do you do them on the stage?
Well, if somebody booked me to perform, then I do it on the stage. But I usually just do music videos. Like that song I just rapped is a song called False Teachers, and it's almost at 300,000 views on YouTube currently.
So at 300,000 views, is that enough to earn revenue from YouTube?
Oh, yeah.
They give you 10 cents?
Bro, YouTube revenue sucks. So it's like with music, because rap videos are only like my rap videos are only like 3 minutes. So for 1.5 million views, I'll get like $2,000, $3,000 a month. So that's what I get like per month is like 1.5 million views.
And you are considered an influencer, so you own a lot of platforms. Tell our viewers a little bit about the world of an influencer. And you're pretty young, huh?
Yeah, I'm 29, so
that's not as young as being 20, but yeah. I'll take it.
Yeah, but it depends on what you mean by influencer, because I'm an influencer, but...
You're an influencer for Christ.
Yes, and a lot of people are scared to say certain things because they don't want to lose followers, they don't want to get banned on these platforms. And
are you banned on the platforms?
Everybody hates me. So Facebook, like if you try to like my page on Facebook, they give you a warning, say review this man's content before you like his page. And I currently do not have access to my Facebook page. I can't post on it.
Are you on Twitter?
I'm on Twitter. They don't allow me to do ads or nothing, and they stopped me from reply deboosting or something like that, whatever that means. TikTok said I am on the verge of getting banned because they have banned 10 of my last 15 videos for hate speech, and Instagram has also banned.
My. Well, this is Conversations with Dr. Carol Swain, and we're bold and we'll talk to anybody, even you.
I'm glad you have me on because not a lot of people want me on their shows, you know?
All right. Okay. Well, you definitely have a message and you're bold. President Trump, I understand that he tweeted out a photograph of you once.
Yeah, me and my girlfriend, when we had the MAGA onesies on, the pajama suits, and we had the ARs, you know, usual Bryson stuff there. I like guns, so.
Right. And in the film Uncle Tom, could you say a little bit about your part?
They asked me a question. I didn't think they intended for me to actually be in the film, but I guess they liked my answer when I said we want all the smoke, because conservatism is usually looked at as lame and boring, and conservatives do have a habit of compromising when they shouldn't. So I think there needs to be a new wave of conservatism who stand on conservative principles and values.
Do you think young people are going to do that? Because I know that Donald Trump brought a lot of young blacks into the Republican Party. Now that he's not president, how many of them will stay and how many of them will wander back to the Democrats?
I don't think,
or drop out of politics?
I don't think anybody will wander back to the Democratic Party, but if you did see the numbers, a lot of people instantly changed their party affiliation from Republican to Independent. But that's at the fault of the GOP, because they didn't stand up for Trump, and they're punks. Nobody likes punks. I don't. I didn't grow up liking punks. Even when I was a Democrat, I didn't like no busters. You got to stand for something, or you'll fall for anything. Even when Ted Cruz just apologized, I got annoyed. Like, stop apologizing. Stop caring about what the left thinks about you.
Well, I have to say that I think elected officials ought to be able to take vacations with their family, and there was nothing he could do in Texas to make the power come back on. And so I agree with you that he should not have apologized, and that was a moment that you would hope that someone would stand. We do need more people that are willing to stand. We have to take another break, and when we return, more of this conversation with the controversial Bryson Gray. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Dr. Carol Swain's Be the People, a call to reclaim America's faith and promise, newly released in paperback and audio with a new introduction, is a challenge to all Americans. If you are serious about being the best citizen you can be, this is the book for you. From addressing moral relativism to reclaiming the future, you'll understand why Dr. Swain is one of the most relevant voices in today's culture war. Are you ready to reclaim America's faith and promise? Purchase at bethepeoplenews.com/books or wherever books are sold.
The Biden administration's executive order on immigration brings to the forefront one of the most volatile issues of our time. In this timely second edition of Debating Immigration, I join my voice to that of other experts to provide you with facts and information that will help you understand what is at stake for our nation. This edition offers 21 original essays that cover race, religion, economics, human smuggling, and civil rights.
Purchase at bethepeoplenews.com/books or wherever books are sold.
I'm back with my guest, Bryson Gray, the very politically incorrect Bryson Gray. Bryson, I'm coming after you if my show gets harassed because of anything that you said. But I have to say, I am a proponent of free speech. I don't censor myself, and I don't believe any of us should be forced to censor ourselves. And if anyone doesn't like, the conversation, all they have to do is walk out of the room, turn off the TV, whatever it is. No one is making anyone listen to anyone they don't want to hear.
I agree. I do have a habit of getting stuff banned, but I feel like on this show I haven't said nothing that could get us banned. This is a rare moment.
Hey, that's all right.
You see, I love it.
But next steps for you, because at 29, that's sort of like a turning point. Mm-hmm. And for me, being 29 was far more traumatic than turning 30. Like, I mourned for my youth when I was 29. When I turned 30, it was just kind of like over. Mm-hmm. So what do you see yourself doing in the future? I mean, are you going to continue rapping? And are there any 40-year-old rappers?
Oh, it's a lot of them. too many of them, in my
opinion. Have we heard of them? Yes,
all of them. Jay-Z didn't even get popular until he was almost 30. 2 Chainz was like 35. Kanye West is still, he's in his 30s. Eminem is, I think he almost 50.
Let me ask you this. Well, as rappers mature, their subject matter, does it mature? Like when they get kids, do they start rapping about their kids and rapping about the PTA and stuff like that?
Unfortunately, they don't. They still rap about big booty women and killing each other.
Yeah, that's not good.
I'm not going to do that. But, I mean, music is a passion I've had since I was, like, born. So if it goes away, then it goes away, because I never forced myself to do anything. But honestly, my plan is to save up money, buy some land, have a community of, nice, good Christian folk, because this world is getting too crazy for me. So I don't want to end up in jail for being a Christian.
Well, I mean, if they come after believers, they can find you wherever you are. Well, I don't want to, but I guess you could keep a lower profile.
Well, not a low profile.
I plan to go down fighting, talking, whatever.
I will go down fighting, but I just think people need a community.
I need to do a disclaimer. When we say fighting, we do not mean with guns and machetes. We're talking about standing for your values.
Yes, FBI, before y'all come to my parents' house again, okay? When I listen, I'm going down fighting, but I'm talking about, that.
So, do you do any kind of music other than rap?
I make all types of music, but lately
like
it's just,
tracks, musical tracks.
Well, I used to be popular for making EDM music. Like I don't know if you know who Calvin Harris is, but I used to just produce and write the songs and have another vocalist sing them. But lately, I just been obsessed with just rapping because I know it's needed, because all rap is about is degeneracy, and I'm rapping about something other than that. So I feel like it's very important to get that out
It is
there.
important, and there is a problem with rap. And I remember. You were a kid when Amos made the statement where he called the Rutgers basketball players nappy-headed hoes.
I remember that.
You were a kid then. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how I sort of broke into media. Lou Dobbs had me on CNN, and I drew parallels between. I said that as a black woman, it was I thought it was more degrading what the rappers do every day than someone like Amos, who probably thought he had license to say that because he heard the rappers degrading black women.
That's all rap music is about. And then the women do it to themselves. Then rappers, we glorify the worst things about human nature. And in rap music, in one genre, it is all glorified. Sexualizing everybody, killing everybody, selling drugs, being a drug addict. It's like, when does it end?
Well, do you remember that? Did you see the Beats commercial where I think it aired doing some sports thing, and it was like, do you see me? Do you see me? Do you love me? Do you love me? And it was about, it was sort of glorifying the ghetto part of black culture. It was saying that, I guess, white liberals, you like this, you like my music, you like my food, but do you love me? I just thought it was the most ridiculous thing because it made it seem like black culture was all in a city.
That's what they want. That's what they want you to believe, though.
Well, you have to look it up.
I think it'll piss me off if I see
it. It's a Beats commercial. Well, it probably will. But yeah, it's very interesting.
All that does is just it confirms the victim mindset. And once you confirm a victim mindset, then you giving somebody the right to feel like they're a victim. And then of course they're not going to end up being anything, because this is a big world.
Right.
This is a big country. So when you become an adult and you keep going with that victim mentality, you're gonna end up on government welfare. Period.
Right.
That's the reality. And until we change that, you can't change anything.
Well, what about the black culture as far as the rate of unwed motherhood? Like maybe 70% of black women, the mothers, don't have husbands. Is that something that you think can be addressed, will be addressed?
It has to be addressed. That's why I have a song called Get Married, Have Kids, Stay Married. Because first, we need to make celibacy great again. Stop having sex out of wedlock. Because once you do that, you're already having problems, and a lot of problems stem from that. And then once you get married, make sure you're living within your means, get married, then have kids, and stay married. Just stop being out here listening to Cardi B and doing as she tell you. I was gonna say something else, but I'm gonna let it go.
Well, at 29, that's probably around the age that if you're single, you start thinking about getting married. So.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to be married by 25. I used to tell myself I was gonna be married by 25. I was gonna have 3 kids by 30. I was gonna adopt kids.
I married at 16. I had 3 by the time I was 20.
For real? See, this is what I'm saying. I'm so late to the party.
Okay, all right.
And I don't like that. I knew I was gonna be married by 25, but
it just didn't work out that way.
It just didn't work out that way, and I'm picky, so.
So, all right. Well, you're an eligible bachelor, I guess.
Well, I have a girlfriend, and
right.
hopefully, it goes away, because I'm almost 30. I don't have time to keep playing.
Without going into detail, I happen to know who your girlfriend is, and she seems like a great catch to me. So I hope it works out for you too.
Me too. I told her, I was like, I ain't got time to play. I turned 30 in what, 3 months or something, 4 months? I have no time for games. So hopefully it does work out.
And it's looking, at this moment that we're in where people are wanting reparations. There's still all this stuff about police officers, and in the black community, in some ways, we're going backwards. We have the diversity, equity, inclusion industry saying that math is racist and that there are no right answers. Do you think we can turn that around?
We have to try. But is it looking like a lost cause? Sort of. But we have to fight it regardless, because this is insanity. I'm telling you, this is insanity. These people are calling black people stupid, and black people are saying, yeah, I am stupid.
Yes.
So I need your help. Reparations, what you gonna do with reparations? Spit it on weave and Jordan and alcohol and marijuana? That's all you're gonna do with it.
Well, one of the things I find most fascinating is that the Gates Foundation, they funded the study that's putting forth the ideas that math itself is racist. And when you think about, the training behind computers and the technology and just everything that's based on math, it's very disheartening that you would have progressives that would be supporting things that really takes the black community backwards. And so we have to fight against that. Thank you, Bryson. It's been so great talking with you, and I know that you're going to do great things, and I hope to have you on the show again. We'll be back after this moment from our sponsors.
For those of you who would like to know what exactly our children are facing in their education system, this is a must-read book. It will equip you and prepare you to make decisions about your child's health, about your child's education. So I want to encourage every one of you to grab a copy of Dr. Swain's book and join with me and Carol on the front lines in this critical time to eradicate the liberal abduction of our children.
I hope you enjoyed the conversation with Bryson as much as I did. Be sure to look for Bryson on Facebook. Maybe you won't find him there. How about Twitter? Not sure. YouTube? Maybe. He's out there, Bryson Gray, and he's one of the young black conservative voices. He may say things you don't understand. He is an unashamed Christian, and we need more people in the Christian community who are unashamed, who are willing to take the hits and blows. And if you got your feelings hurt, it's very important for people to realize that this is still America. We still have free speech. If you have a different opinion, express your opinion. We love you. And I will see you next week.